Welcome to the Christian Life Coach Collective. I'm your host, Laura Malone, and you are in the right place if you want to make an impact in your life and the lives of the people around you. Maybe you even want to turn your gift of helping others into an income so you can support your family and your dreams and make a way for your calling. I'm here to guide you because you deserve to have encouragement and resources and somebody invested in you as you go invest yourself into everyone else. Let's dive into today's episode.
Hello. I am so excited to tell you some things today. So excited that I'm doing an episode on the wrong day of the week and in the middle of actually a 3-part series that I already have scheduled. But I want to tell you what God is saying right now. So, full disclosure, I'm in Hawaii visiting my daughter, working alongside my husband as he's teaching 40 guys about being a man of God. And I'm getting some much needed time with the Lord. And it does not hurt that I'm sitting in an air-conditioned car looking at the ocean. That does not hurt. It doesn't hurt. It does not hinder my ability to hear God right now, if I'm going to be honest. We used to live here in Kona on the Big Island. We were here 20 years ago. We did a DTS with YWAM, which is Youth with a Mission. It's where God sent us in the beginning of our marriage we sold everything. He said, sell everything, go to Kona, become missionaries. And we were like, we don't want to be missionaries, but look what we did. 10 years later, we ran our own crisis response DTS here in Kona after the leadership asked us to come bring our training to the base, which is in Kona. It's called the University of the Nations, and it's basically the hub. It's like the mothership of all of YWAM around the world. And then our daughter moved here last year to go to one of the secondary schools called School of Worship, which has been incredible. And now we have, in addition to teaching on the base and seeing our friends here that we love, because once you're a YWAMer, you're always a YWAMer. It's like just coming home. It's like being with family. It's the Ohana here. And now we get to come see our daughter and enjoy what God is doing in her life as she pursues her walk. And it's been really so peaceful. I've been here for 6 days now, and it's been a lot of work because we're actually working as my husband is teaching and we're kind of pouring into the people around us, but also been really, really beautiful. And I encourage you, if you ever thought about taking a season of your life, to just spend time with the Lord and be discipled in any direction. If your kids maybe want to take a gap year or do something with their life, just spend some season. There's all ages. It's Youth with a Mission, but it really is for all ages and generations. YWAM is a spectacular organization, and we love and honor the founders, Lauren and Darlene Cunningham. And some of you might remember I posted on social media about Lauren Cunningham passing away, and he is just really such a father in this movement. He broke some boxes, which I like some boxes being broken. He broke some boxes about 60 years ago and made a way where there seemed to be no way for a lot of people who were called into missions. So we bless and honor them. And while I've been talking to the Lord about the future of Sterling and Stone and how to get my head clear, I've been really asking him to lead as my CEO, like anywhere I've been getting off track, Lord. And just as a side note, you're going to want to stick with me to the end of this episode for some really fun news. But when you're in business with God, it's necessary to stop and assess often to see if you've gotten off the path to any degree. And there's really no shame in it. Like, that's what we do, right? We get off the path. There's no handbook on exactly how to walk out this life with a step-by-step map, right? And that's for our personal lives, our family, our professional lives, like starting a business, doing all of the things. But the first morning that we were here, I was looking at the horizon and listening prayer with the Lord. And I was feeling like I've been hitting some walls in my business, and I wanted to know, what did God, my CEO, say about that? almost immediately, within the first few minutes of listening prayer time, I heard him say, "What was the last thing I told you to do?" And this is one of my favorite things to hear him say. Why? Because it is so simple to get in alignment with him when you just go back to the last thing he said. It means I already heard his direction once, so all I have to do is go back to it. It's like somebody saying, "Hey, you took a left back there, but you needed to keep going straight. So now you know what road you need to be on. You just need to map out how to get back to it from where you find yourself now." So I did. I took a little inventory of all the last things he said, and I mapped my way back to them. And all I could say is, I feel like 1,000,000 pounds fell off my shoulders. So I'm sharing this here on the podcast for 2 reasons. One is because if you have a business or a ministry or even just your family for that matter, and you wonder like, where's the peace, Lord? Why do I feel some favor? Where's the wind right now at my back? All you need to do is stop, sit, and listen. Okay? He wants to lead you. He wants you to hear him. He's gracious. He's compassionate. He's long-suffering with us as we keep taking turns on the path that he made straight for us. So consider for yourself where things are. If they're a little bit off, or you're feeling like you're throwing your head up against a wall, or you're hitting a ceiling, and ask him, what do you want me to know, God? And what do you want me to do about it? If he says, go back to the last thing he told you, take a big, deep breath. It might not feel easy. It might not seem feasible, but in the long run, it's going to be the best case scenario for you. And if you didn't hear in the past what to do, so that you don't have a last thing to go back to, take a day or 3 and commit to listening for him to give you the direction you need. He is the most trustworthy head of your business, your ministry, your family, and your calling. The second reason I'm sharing is because I want you to actually know what he's up to in Sterling and Stone. And much of it, or all of it, has to do with the dream that he put in my heart almost 15 years ago, actually 25 years ago at the beginning. My goal at Sterling and Stone is to share what God's done in my life, walk with you and what he's doing in yours, and multiply revelation and testimony that he's sown into my life and my storyline about growth of the spirit and soul realms. So I've run a nonprofit crisis response ministry for about 18 years now. And the reason I started Sterling and Stone as a for-profit instead of another nonprofit, honestly, is because I don't want to do the tax things and all the support raising and the donor finding and the board requirements that a 501c3 requires. And in addition, it's just so much work to the work I already want to do and I love pouring myself into, and I know what it requires. So I started a for-profit business because the only difference between that is the tax on there, right? That's all. A business and a nonprofit ministry or charitable whatever, it all requires the same processes, the systems set up to make it go. But when you have a nonprofit, there are additional things required of you. And in order to keep things simple, streamlined, my heart's desire is to support, equip, and promote others. I love the coaching aspect, as well as the content creation and running the system of processes that make my business go around. And I believe my ministry is in the context of the marketplace and for-profit business. That is where my personal ministry lies. I have personal ministry that I do at our nonprofit, and I have personal ministry that I'm called to that's in a for-profit, and you can have both or either. I love learning and figuring out new things, and I love the stretching and the pulling and the need for God to be with me in this big thing I'm doing. But the journey has a lot of attention because there are so many voices in the business space, and I'm going to take this chance and be really vulnerable and honest here, so just bear with me. I fully believe in being compensated for the work you do, whether you're in business or ministry or just serving from your heart somewhere. I don't see anywhere in the Bible where it says don't charge anybody because you love God. Instead, I see people who work to make a way for themselves, unless God called them specifically to a place where they were being supported by the church body for the work they were called to. And that said, I also believe in a price tag being attached to what you offer so that people commit to investing in themselves and in the things that you offer to reveal the value of what you bring. Because when things are free, our human nature tends to take it for granted. And a lot of times we get the free stuff and we don't do anything with it. A couple of years ago, God led me to create the Greenhouse Christian Life Coach training course. And he said, it's time to go from addition to multiplication, because I had been coaching one-on-one for a long time, starting to do live workshops right at the beginning of 2020. Yay. We ended up moving, of course, Rona, all the things through live coaching, live workshops and stuff off for a while. But I heard that the Lord was telling me, take what I've taught you over the past 2 decades of leadership and coaching and mentoring and parenting, and teach it to other people so they can have that revelation. It can have a ripple effect. It can go impact the world and bring the kingdom of heaven to earth the way each of these people are designed to uniquely. So as I pursued that, I created the first version of the course and I priced it at $999. And honestly, after some people signed up, the Lord told me, make it $500. And I was like, I know it's worth a lot more. After everything that I pour into it, everything I create, the time investment, the live coaching, all of the stuff, Lord. And he said 500. And I was like, it's not about me. It's not about my bank account. It's about what God is doing. What is the dream in his heart? So I actually emailed these students that had already signed up and told them the price is going to be half of what they'd already committed to investing. And then I made some really happy people that day. In the business world, your beta version of something would always be a lower price. And then as you grow, like your proof of concept, your social proof about all of it, you would raise the price. Well, I did raise the price. I eventually revamped the course. I know that it's literally worth thousands with all the modules, the lessons, the resources, the live coaching, all the benefits to it. But I still made it $1,500 with certification included with the trading course. Then earlier in this summer, I offered a 40% discount earlier because I knew something was stirring in me to make coaching and courses more accessible. And then I had this crazy strong desire to lower the price. So I dropped it by a couple hundred and I still thought something was off. And this is where when something is in your spirit and your soul needs to get in alignment, like my spirit knew the way to go because the spirit was in you, God, Emmanuel, like your spirit as a believer is lined up with him and longs for him. But when your soul is like just making decisions, not like always evil, just like your soul is like, oh, this is a good idea. And like, that seems to be wisdom. And that is what I want. Right. Then you just end up kind of going in a way and you take a left and you should have gone straight. And that is okay. God is just so kind. He's so faithful. He brings conviction, but not condemnation. And so it's like, this drawing that my spirit was rising up to lead my soul, but my soul was like not getting it. Like, what? Huh? Why? And let's fast forward to my first day here in Hawaii, and that moment of listening prayer with God said, go back to the last thing I told you. Because you see, my soul, like I had just been listening to people and voices in the business space that weren't him. And he'd already given me direction about how to run my business with him. And I had started making some good changes without always consulting my CEO. Have you ever done that? Like in any area of your life? It's exhausting to do things by yourself, to strive and climb and beg for help to know how to do things and be successful. But when you get in alignment with God, you find a much smoother process and journey into like your best life where you feel that peace that surpasses all understanding. So what is the last thing God told me to do? He said, make the course $500. So I immediately did. And all I know is I love it. Like I want to shout it to the world. I don't care if conventional business wisdom would say that pricing is higher as you grow and people are buying it. Like, I don't care. They're going to say, I'll get greater quality and investment for my students and clients. And maybe that's so, but here's the deal. I am by no means conventional. I am a box breaker. I'm a change agent. And the people who want to work with me love that. I see what is possible with God. And I believe he is saying that our goal in Sterling and Stone is to multiply fruit, not create hindrances to it. It's like moving a tree indoors, putting it in a pot where it can only grow as high as the ceiling. That is simply not who I am at my core, and it's not what God's doing in my business. So I can't tell you how much peace I have making this decision. I am looking to build an empire, but it's to bring the kingdom of heaven to earth. It's to get in the will of God and bring his dreams, make them manifest on earth through his people. An empire of support and teaching and release and promotion for God's people. But I don't need my bank account to be 8 figures. I want to multiply treasures in my kingdom account. There is always enough in your kingdom account of anything and everything you need, regardless of what your bank statement says. We have everything we need because God equips us when he calls us, and he is a great provider. So it's like everything you need is in the account, but you have to go to him as your provider and make a withdrawal. Just because something's in your account doesn't mean it's actually in your possession. And I can tell you, over the past 20 years, I have got some miracle stories to tell you all day long about seeing God's provision. But my business is about building the kingdom and supporting God's people and promoting the dreams in his heart that he creates and plants within his people. I firmly believe that God has given me the pro practice, among other tools and skills, to teach not just coaches, but parents and leaders and counselors, Uber drivers and baristas and bartenders, and anybody who wants to speak life into the one in front of them. Anybody who wants to love others well and help them change their minds and change their lives. So that means that the Greenhouse course needs to be accessible to all people. And to do this, I've switched out how I'm offering the course. So basically, I've changed all my pricing to reflect what God's saying and what's in my nonprofiting heart to serve more people where they're at. And the Greenhouse Life Coach training course has 12 modules that you can finish in about 5 months as it's released to you. And it will train you how to coach yourself and others, really like your own personal transformation, and then how you share that with other people. And even if you want to start a business, help you get it started right from the get-go. If you're not interested in being a coach, but you just want the teaching, you can dive in and just change all the client language to like friend or mentee, kids, whoever it is that you help and you serve. So the course now is, like God said, it's $500 again. And if you do decide that you want to get certified with Sterling and Stone and get all the benefits of it, like you get to come on the podcast once a year to share a coaching journey and offers. That's like more organic marketing right there. You get discounts on coaching and courses with me. You get to continue the weekly support on our live calls past the course time frame of the 6 months. And you also get listed in my coaching directory. So that, if you decide you want that after you finish the training and you have your client practice sessions finished, you can pay $100 for a year of certification or $500 for lifetime certification. But you don't have to decide that up ahead. It was that the training just included all of that. And now I'm breaking it down because I know that there are people who don't necessarily want to be coaches, but they want to be taught in all of these things, and they want their own personal transformation. Then, if that's, I don't know, not enough good news, then the Call to Coach course, that's 60 modules inside of 60 lessons inside of 10 modules. That's where you learn the whole Sokoka system to grow your online coaching business. And that is also now $500. So if you charged $50 a session, you just need 10 sessions to pay for that course, right? Like if you want to have a business set up and you want to grow it and you want to learn how to share, offer, convert, onboard, and coach the people that you're called to serve, it's pretty awesome. So when I was in prayer about all of this, I had a lot of thoughts about how I could do it. And I know a lot of counselors do sliding scales for people who don't have insurance to cover counseling. But in the same way, I believe everybody deserves access to like quality counseling and therapy. I believe coaching as a form of modern day discipleship is something everybody deserves access to as well. And generally speaking, in the life coach industry, coaching is a luxury and it is not like a necessity or a staple in people's budgets. And I hate that. It's so sad to me. So I love the simplicity of knowing that I can help make it more possible and reachable, because that's literally what I'm all about, right? I know also that I'm in some groups, some business groups, coaching groups, that will tell me it's not a wise business decision, that I need to coach myself or I need to get coached on my lack of belief in the value I create, which is not true. I completely believe, absolutely, 100%, that if God called me to sell this course for $5,000, that I would do it because I believe it is that valuable in life transformation. I believe in it for sure. But what I believe in more is obeying God. So if he's given me direction to make it a tenth of that, so be it. That is going to be the win. It's a kingdom win, and that's greater. I love the intangible results. They are far more valuable than all the tangible results of money in the bank account. Trust me. I know it. I know it. I know it. So I get all of what they would say. I've done all of it. I also know that I coach myself and others to set prices based on what God says, alongside belief that we have in ourselves as coaches and the value of what we bring to the table. So while conventional wisdom says to keep it up and hustle and raise it, kingdom wisdom says, listen to Jesus and follow him. So I'm going to do that. So you do you, I'll do me. And as long as we're both hearing God for ourselves, we're heading down the right path. And if he tells you to charge $500, that's what the clients he's going to send to you will pay and want to pay. Okay? And one last thing. If you are a Christian woman who wants personal growth in your life, you want to make some new friends and get a taste of coaching, this fall I'm starting a women's coaching circle. It's basically a membership. We're going to begin this fall, and you'll have access to a library of self-coaching resources, plus an invitation to a live coaching call every week where you get a chance to be coached by either me or one of my coaches. You'll get to like raise your hand on the Zoom call and say, I would like to be chosen, please. And if you don't get chosen for personal coaching on the call, you still vicariously learn by listening to the other coaching and seeing like, oh, I can apply that to me. Or sometimes you actually get better coaching when you listen to other people because you're like not on the screen. You get to focus more because it's not all about you. So basically for very little, like probably about $30 a month, they're going to get 4 opportunities to get coached and then have resources that will be life-changing. So if you're interested in that, please sign up for the wait list in the show notes. I want to know that you're interested. I want to know that you desire this. I want to be able to meet the needs of the women that I serve. I really would just want to make coaching available to you right where you are. And literally, this is the real deal. My pricing is always subject to change when God gives me direction to. It might go up and it might go down. But it's not going to change because Instagram or other experts or coaches say it should change. All I know is that I don't want it to be anything but what God says it should be, because he's the CEO. That is my business plan. And you can love it or leave it. I encourage you to make your business plan like from a weekly time of listening prayer and hear what God says to you. He really is the best planner, the best provider, the best CEO you can have. So listen to the Lord as you make your plans, I'm pretty sure the Bible says something about how we make our plans and then God has his way. So listen, Listen, friend. He wants to tell you, and he wants to guide you, and he wants to make the path visible to you, and he wants to walk on it with you. So I hope to see you inside the greenhouse course and the Call to Coach course. I'll want to be coaching you. I can't wait to meet you and connect with you and watch what God does in your life. If you are not interested in being a coach, but you do want to be able to coach yourself or others, because this is really amazing coaching tools it's like trade out the word coaching for parenting. It's a parenting course. It's a leadership course. It's a management course. It's a pastor's course, a counselor's course. It's revolutionary because I didn't make it up. God has revealed this, not just to me, but like in the work I've done with clients as I use the Pearl practice, and it gets shifted into all of these different areas of our life where we do an identity pearl and a legacy pearl. And it is about transforming your mind, renewing your mind, getting in alignment with the will and word of God, and walking in that for the greatest fruit to be produced in your life, to really be able to walk in the fruit of the Spirit and let that lead so that you create fruit in your soul. Because everything else is really just like a tool, but its transformation only comes from the gospel. True transformation. Souls can change. We can develop and grow in our soul without Jesus, but true transformation is found at the foot of the cross. So I invite you to come on this journey with me. I can't wait to see you there. You are worth it, 100% right now. You're capable of whatever God's called you to and put in your heart to do. He will equip you and provide for you in everything you need. Say yes to him. Take the no out of your spirit and walk the way that he shows you to go. You're going to hear a voice telling you, go this way or that way. And then I want you to write it down. Make the vision plain so that the people who read it can run with it. And you bring the kingdom of heaven to earth the way you are uniquely designed to do. Love you, friends. Bye.
If you'd like to work with me and get coaching, become a coach, or start a coaching business, check out all the courses and coaching I offer at sterlingandstonementoring.com, or you can scroll through the show notes to find all the links that you need. I pray that your day will be full of joy, hope, transformation, and the presence of God.